And now, from the studios of Renegade Talk Radio in Maui, Hawaii, and the southwestern Arizona desert, it's time for the Raunch Foxxx Foxxxcast. With your host, 6'10" Raunch Foxxx, the smokescreen machine, Paullywood. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for another great ride. Here's your host, Raunch Foxxx.
All right. Hey, everybody. What is going on? Raunch Foxxx with you. This is the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, episode number 10 already here on RenegadeTalkRadio.com. What is happening, everybody? So much going on. So much to talk about. Exciting news. Boy, we're going to stir it up this week, and we're going to challenge you folks to go out and do some things and make some shit happen in your community and out and about in the world, and not just the United States, because we are international. Yours truly, Raunch Foxxx. Once again, welcome to the show. And as you know, Renegade Talk Radio with people like Richie and Marla stirring it up. And, of course, our Congressman extraordinaire, Carl Higbie, running for the seat over in Connecticut. A true rebel, a true renegade in every political sense of the word. And our latest addition, our technical expert, DJ Mystery, who's going to be telling you things and scare the shit out of you about your own computer, as well as enlightening you with all the cool stuff that we could possibly talking about in the world of technology. We are just putting it together, folks, here on Renegade Talk Radio. And, of course, putting it together here on the Foxxcast, who other than my partner in crime, gentleman from all the way over in upstate New York, where it's still a little bit chilly while I'm sweltering in 91 degrees here in Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, Paullywood. How you doing, sir?
Oh, it's good to be back for episode number 10, Raunch. Can you believe how fast these weeks are flying behind us now? I mean, we're just picking up more steam as we go.
Dude, you know, after my birthday weekend, it's hard to be 39, 10 or 15 years in a row.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you don't look a day over 38.
Yeah, well, and you keep saying that, I'll wipe the Vaseline off my leg and send you a few dollars, because, the salaries here are just phenomenal. Man, let me tell you, we had it was a pretty good time. Jen hooked me up for birthday. She hooked me up. We had a good time. We went to dinner on a Friday night. Saturday, we did some cool stuff. And then we went to a casino and hung out. We had some fun. She got me some really cool gifts. One of the gifts she got. What was that? Fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Was that your zipper?
Hope not. Good Lord.
What was that sound?
No, what did you hear?
It sounded like your zipper.
Well, my zipper's still up.
Sounded like one of those wind-up ducks going across the table. Anyway, I don't know what that was, dude. I have no idea. We'll let the listener.
Maybe it was that pizza I ate earlier.
Maybe it was. Maybe you're. Yeah, I know you got cats that fart. I don't know what the fuck that was, but either way. We're gonna have to play the podcast back about 4 times and figure that out together, and maybe have a contest so listeners can send an email. The first one that guesses correctly what it is will get an 8x10 glossy of Paulie in his Speedo bikini briefs, captain's hat, gold chain, and flip flops. It doesn't get any better than that. Well, it does, black and white. So anyway, Paulie.
Yes.
The birthday. So she got me some military grade 270 power fucking binoculars.
I saw them. Those were really nice looking. Now, people figure out how to get a camera through them.
There's a connection. Somebody already sent me the link. They got a connection, an adapter I put on the binoculars, and I set my Android right in that adapter, and it will go right through the binoculars, so I'll be able to film with my fucking phone.
Oh, how excited were you to find that?
I wasn't expecting it. I had no idea what it was when I opened it. I'm like, hey, this is very cool. And for the last couple of days, I have been zooming in on these fucking planes and the chemtrails, and we're going to talk about that later on. These chemtrails are, I'm very passionate. I'm very sick about it now, and may be even getting respiratorily sick. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with what we're breathing out there, but we'll talk about that later on. So it's been a good week other than that. Jen's birthday was last Saturday. Mine was this past Saturday. She's the 12th, mine's the 19th. 2 Aries living together. If we're not fighting, we're fucking, or we're fighting about fucking. That's just the way it is when you got 2 Aries living together. Very passionate in every sense of the word.
She sure as heck is your better half, but you're lucky to have a woman like her. She really is amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, it's great. It's great when they're, when they have a heartbeat.
I'm going to have to try that sometime.
Huh?
I said, I'm going to have to try that sometime.
You really should. You can only get down to the morgue so many times. They're going to catch you. They're going to know you got the passcode, and you're going to leave something behind one night when you leave. But anyway, moving right along, let's talk about you for a minute. How was your week? You got a lot going on up there. You got a guy that's supposed to be hooking you up with a kick-ass computer with 32 gigs of memory and clock speed over a 4.0 on the gigahertz and a triple terabyte. Oh man, you got all kind of shit going on. Your buddy Gino, I think his name is. He's supposed to be hooking you up with a kick-ass production piece of equipment. That's only going to help us on our show. And of course, as soon as that happens, we'll definitely have to reward him and get him on the show as well. And we'll promote his company, his computer company. He's a pretty good guy, and he does a lot of good things for the community and for kids and people that need computers. And he's doing a good thing for you. That's a great friend to have, bro. You're pretty lucky.
I've known him for 4 years, and yeah, he is a great friend and a technical genius too. I mean, this guy has a lot to bring to the table. He'll be quite a discussion to have with him at some point in time.
Yeah, we'll get him on, and we'll get him hooked up with Net Nasty. We'll let those two talk, and they'll be talking in Greek. We're going to say layman's terms. You got regular people listening. So anyway, as soon as he gets you all squared away with your computer and you're up and running, we'll get him on the show. Also, we'll talk about his business, and he can tell everybody in Renegade Nation what he does as well. So that's going to be very exciting. So how about you, though? What was your week like in addition to all of that? It's it's never a dull moment up there in upstate.
Oh, it's never a dull moment. Went down to visit my mother for the Easter holiday. Had a nice little trip back with her and the kids, and it was a good time, I have to admit. I snuck off to the liquor store with my sister during the holiday, and we picked up a couple of one-shot bottles of Jack Daniel's whiskey and a couple of others, and just kind of threw a few back to make it.
Was this in New York or West Virginia? You said you snuck off with your sister.
Well, it's in New York, but I mean, neither of the two of us have access to our own wheels at the moment, so we kind of had to walk off together.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
nothing Game of Thrones-ish going on here, Raunch.
No, and that of course is your show.
Yeah, it is, man.
I know. Also, sometimes you get. You get a little amore in your life, cyberspatially. Sometimes you get excited and tell me about girls that are pretty cool and they have conversations. We won't drop any names, but I remember back in the day, you get some of these girls on the internet, you start talking to them, you never know what they look like, and when it's only a solid picture, it's like, oh God, please, she sounds hot. I hope she looks like that. But nowadays, with you guys, before when I started, that shit wasn't around. I had to go on honesty. But now, at least, if you want to see what a girl looks like, you can at least get her on Skype or somewhere and check her out on webcam.
Well, you remember that linebacker? Oh, I can't remember where he's playing pro now, but his name was Mante Te'o, and he got what they called catfish.
Yes.
Yes. Now I think he was actually talking to a guy and probably having cyber sex with the guy, and it was all being done through type. I think that's how it unfolded.
I thought he had an imaginary lover though too, just total imaginary. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, in a way, it is kind of an imaginary thing because whoever it is that he was talking to at the other end was pretending to be somebody that he wasn't. And, back in the day...
Does that really happen on the internet, though? People pretend to be something that they're not?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's really? A hell of a lot harder these days with the advent of Skype and stuff like that.
People lie on the internet?
Oh, come on, Raunch. Who are you asking?
Well, I tell people I'm 6'10". I'm a white guy. I'm in Arizona when, in fact, I'm a 5'2" black man in fucking Alaska. So, what can I tell you?
I knew it. I knew there was something suspicious about you.
And you tell everybody you're like a 135-pound, 6-foot white guy, when in fact, you are. So anyway. All right, well, listen, man, it's all good, but, it's been a great week for news. We've got a guy that, he's an ex-felon. He's had some fucked up things happen in his life. I mean, from parental to his own personal life, to how he wants to live, and he's about as anti-renegade as they come. He's from the deep south, a good old boy, and he talks like this. And the only way that we're going to be talking to this guy tonight is, he's going to be stealing his neighbor's Wi-Fi, sitting out in his Volkswagen thing or whatever the fuck he drives down there. But he drives around and steals Wi-Fi whenever he can. So we're hoping that the connection's going to be good from him. And we'll be bringing him up later on. And he goes by the name of BUBBAGANOOSH. And we're going to find out a lot about him. He's got a lot to say, and he's going to be representing the Deep South. And, of course, one of the things that he says, and I really like, he says, y'all complain about the South so fucking much. He says, hey, I don't hear anybody saying they're going north when they retire. So, BUBBAGANOOSH is going to fit in rather well, and we're going to be bringing him up later on. But right now, Paulie, all this stuff in the news, the fucking California kid, the one that got stowed away in the wheel well of the flight from San Jose to Maui.
Yeah,
the
16-year-old trip to Hawaii, right?
16-year-old kid, wants to meet mama and all that. He went from Santa Clara FBI said he was 16. He gets unharmed despite the enduring frigid temperatures. You know, he's at 38,000 feet. He's at a lack of oxygen on the Hawaiian Airlines. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just was like that. There was like no oxygen. Sub-zero temperature. It was just fucking unbearable. But, of course, it's what they call on Southwest Airlines flying coach. But anyway. Hey, did you hear there's a 1,000-year-old village in New Mexico? It was picked up by a drone. A drone spotted this 1,000-year-old village in Mexico. Some of the signage reveals the customs of the day. One of the signs that they picked up, it said, "Slower oxen keep right." 1,000-year-old. Can you believe that?
Ooh.
Obama. What do you think? Obama, Justin Bieber, everybody's talking about them. He's not going to deport Justin Bieber. You know, he was hot at first, but he's worn his welcome out. And Bieber's not cool either. But anyway, let's keep it in political. You know, we talked about it briefly. Chelsea Clinton, she's knocked up. I mean, she's pregnant, right? She's pregnant. Who cares? Do you care that Chelsea Clinton is fucking pregnant? I mean, isn't there more important things going on than to find out that Chelsea didn't pull a Monica Blue-Klinsky and swallow? I mean, isn't there more important stuff in the news? Oh, Chelsea is pregnant. Does anybody really care?
Just wake me up when the thing hatches.
I mean, you can picture Daddy. You can picture Bill. He's making cute faces through the glass at the hospital nursery. Right? That's just at the fucking nurses. Anyway, Monica Blue-Klinsky. Nike, they were in the news. They were rumored to shut down the division responsible for creating wearable fitness trackers and fire its employees. Now, a spokesperson for the company said that the exact date of the closure is not determined yet. However, the company will one day just do it. I mean, it's full circle, synchronicity. It all comes around. Just do it, just do it, just do it. That's how we work. That's how we roll around here. School kids out in Los Angeles, they got asked in a weekly reader poll what job they'd like to have when they grow up. What do you think it was? Now before you answer, L.A., Hollywood, what job do kids out there in their weekly reader poll, what job do you think they said they wanted to have or what they wanted to be when they grow up in the L.A., Hollywood area?
Well, I would assume they wanted to be Hollywood movie stars.
Close enough. They want their own reality series. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, Los Angeles is the only place in the world that thinks the NSA doesn't, watch us enough. What the fuck's wrong with these kids nowadays? Also, Mad Men. Do you like that show? Have you ever seen Mad Men?
I don't watch Mad Men, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Pretty
awesome. They just started their 7th season. And this one's about the ad world now in the late 60s. The womanizing star, he moves to L.A., he's had every woman in New York, so now he's banging out in Cali. Mad Men teaches us that if you're not really drunk, you can lie down on the floor without holding on. It's true. Absolutely true. Lie down, don't fucking hold. And NBC, they got this national contest where they're soliciting the public for ideas for a hit sitcom. They're fucking desperate, Paulie.
Well, network television is running out of ideas really fast. That's why we have so much reality TV in the first place.
This is how bad it is, though. The Voice, it's the top-rated show on NBC. Top-rated show, but the number of viewers is so low. Ask me how low it is.
How low is it?
It is so low that being the top-rated show on NBC is like being the least drunk Australian. That's true.
Right.
Hey, there was an auction over in Hong Kong. This was pretty badass. I saw pictures. I'm not a collector of antiques or anything like that, but they had a rare Ming Dynasty porcelain cup, and it got $36 million at this Hong Kong auction. $36 million. I mean, this is the most ever paid for a cup. I mean, it's impressive, and that even counts Starbucks. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Also, a priceless T-Rex skeleton. And, I got to tell you, I was on Facebook today, and there was a guy bitching that now dinosaurs are fake, and that's a fucking conspiracy theory, and that's a lie. Anyway, people are getting out of control on Facebook, but there was a priceless T-Rex skeleton. It was going to be transported from the Smithsonian Science Museum by FedEx. Now, the curator better be there when it arrives. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck with nothing but, a bag of styrofoam peanuts and useless old bones, especially if fucking FedEx is moving it. What else is going on? There was something about Russia. Oh, I remember now. Russia, with the invasion of Crimea, they forced McDonald's to shut down all of the restaurants in the region. Shut them all down. Every fucking one. Yeah. Right when the McPutin burger was being served by shirtless counter personnel, it was really starting to take off. But hey, it ain't working now. What are you going to do? And lastly, talk about the Samsung Galaxy. The Galaxy 5's out now. A recent poll rated the Galaxy the smartest cell phone on the market. But you don't have to tell me. Last week, mine got into a debate with an Apple iPhone 5. Now they're married. They're working at Google. And neither fucking one of them are returning any of my phone calls. But anyway, that's the way we see the news in and around the world here on the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Of course, our regular banter with myself and Paullywood. We're going to be bringing up our new dose of Southern comfort, Mr. BUBBAGANOOSH, if we can keep a good connection with this shitty stolen Wi-Fi down there in the deep, dirty South. So keep it where you got it right here. It's the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, RenegadeTalkRadio.com. You know it, you love it, you want some more of it, and you're going to get it right after this. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back with more of the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast here on Renegade Talk Radio. No whims. You know if you belong. Stay tuned.
They're hot, sweaty, and when they swing, they love to get loud. They're women tennis players, and you can listen in live at 1-900-HOT-GRUNTS. Whether you're into singles or doubles, you can be their special ball boy at 1-900-HOT-GRUNTS. Call now and work on your forehand while these hard-court hard bodies serve up the hottest grunts. Is it out or is it in? One phone number is all you need. 1-900-HOT-GRUNTS. Ooh, that was right on the sweet spot.
Raunch Foxxx. Hey, it ain't gonna suck itself. What are you waiting on?
Looking to feed your family on something you can scrape right off the highway? Then try raccoon. Bet you didn't know these cute, curious creatures make good eats. And it's so easy to prepare. Just soak the carcass overnight in a 5-gallon bucket filled with salt and vinegar, then parboil for at least 2 hours, then slow cook to perfection. Whether it's coon a l'orange or coon cutlet parmesan, you soon discover that varmint vittles is the other dark meat. Raccoon. Unfortunately, in this economy, it's what's for dinner.
Go ahead, slow your mouth. Eat your dry hard. Do you have enough ram? Bend over and let the Raunch upgrade your memory. The Raunch Foxxx cyber sickness oozing out of computers everywhere.
Flashier than the new spring collection. More powerful than a double mojito. Able to dance to anything with a good beat.
Look, up in the sky. It's colorful.
It's trendy.
It's fabulous.
It's Fabulous Man.
Yoo-hoo!
Yes, Fabulous Man. Strange visitor from the Fashion District who came to Earth with attitude and flair far beyond those of heterosexual men. Fabulous Man who can change the decor of any room, style hair with his bare hands, and who, disguised as Ryan Seacrest, mild-mannered host for a popular reality show, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and Proposition 8.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the only white man that made Shaquille O'Neal look away in the men's locker room. Raunch Foxxx, packing more peanuts than a Lance Bass Elton John sausage fest.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Raunch Foxx. Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast right here. RenegadeTalkRadio.com. We are so glad that you are here to hang out with us. Yours truly, Raunch Foxxx. We got Paullywood. And once again, we'd like to remind you, when listening to Renegade Talk Radio, you can hear us a lot of places. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher.com. We're on Spreaker.com. We're on Podomatic.com. You can go to RenegadeTalkRadio.com, or you can hear our latest on RaunchFoxx.com. We're friggin' everywhere. Just check us out. And the same with YouTube. You can go to Twitter. Type in all the keywords. Raunch Foxx, Renegade, Renegade Talk, Foxxcast, whatever. Google us. You're going to find things that you didn't know existed. And just how long we've actually been doing this shit. And we're going all the way back to 2004. We're no rookies in this business. We were pioneers in a lot of things. And now, myself and Richie are back together. We've got some great things going on. Richie and Marley have been doing their gig since 2009 under the Renegade Talk.fm banner, if you will. And now we're all back together trying to make it happen again. We got bigger and better things with people like Carl Higbee, our congressman, running for Congress over there in Connecticut. A real rebel, an ex-Navy SEAL. Listen to him. He's getting a lot of press. You've seen him on Fox News. Sean Hannity deal. We got a lot of stuff happening. Carl Higbee is a great, great man, and he's a young guy full of piss and vinegar, and he will not take no for an answer, and he wants to make some changes in Congress, and he's definitely a guy you want to check out. Not only do you listen to his podcast here, you want to go to carlhigbee.com. See what he's about. He wrote a book. I'm not going to tell you. You Google him. You go to his site. You're going to see what the book is. You're going to buy the book. You're going to love this guy. You're going to move to Connecticut, and you're going to vote for him. Paulie, you told me yourself, you're in upstate New York. You said, man, if I lived in Connecticut, I'd vote for this guy.
You know, I think anybody who is tired of being spoon-fed the politicians that both the Democrat and the Republican Party have to offer, that this is a refreshing breath of fresh air. He's really one of a kind out there. He's worthy of your vote. You know, he's not necessarily just your typical third-party guy. He's one of us, man. He's a renegade.
Big time.
What we need.
Renegade is right. The perfect place for Carl Higbee. And last, one of our latest additions, our technological expert extraordinaire, the guy who'll scare the shit out of you with your own computer, DJ Mystery, is here on Renegade Talk Radio. So we've got some very cool things happening. We're going to have some new stuff coming to the table, some different genre, if you will, alternative lifestyles, all kind of good stuff. Stick around. Renegade Talk Radio is going to keep bringing it. So, Paulie, here we are together again for episode number 10. It's on Renegade Talk Radio. I like kicking back with you once a week and doing this. We're going to have to do more, and we're going to be doing some video stuff, and you're going to see that you're going to realize when you see our faces why indeed we do audio instead of video. But we'll be out there in the airwaves doing some stuff. We want you to get to know us, and we're going to get Rich. You and Rich are kind of alike. You're so buff, both of you. So buff. You're so fucking buff, both of you. You're just rippling. You're rippling with muscles. You're very, well, actually, I think, truthfully, I think you could probably both be models for an iodine label. But other than that, we got another guy. We got another guy that's a new on the show. He's going to be coming in here in a minute. He's from the deep, dirty fucking South. I think he maybe weighs 130 or 140 pounds himself, over 6 foot. You're 6 foot. You're 135 pounds. You know what's fucked up? Both of you guys together, and I still weigh 100 pounds more than both of you combined. Anyway, I'm like 6'10", 350 pounds, and soon to be 295 with a little bit of work. I'll drop 10 the first week, I guarantee it. And I'm going to be doing it with another guy. His name's James Dolezal, and we want to give a shout out to James tonight. He's a Radio Shack manager. He's a big guy. He's 6 foot something, like 450 pounds. But he's finally agreed to go on a regime with us, and he wants to drop some weight. He's got to. It's a health issue, and. God damn it, I love the guy. And he recently got promoted to an assistant manager at Radio Shack. That's a big step for him. He's pretty thrilled because, think about it, 450 pounds, you're on your feet doing retail all day. Paulie, that'll beat the shit out of you.
Oh, my God. You know what, though? I'm really proud for James. I've known him, again, for probably about 3.5, 4 years or so. And, it doesn't matter to me how big he is. There's just more of him there to love.
And and his heart's just as big. And we're going to give him a shout out. You want to check him out. He does a show with another guy called Tony Baby Oil. It's called DrinkNet 2. It's on a website called VaughnLive.tv. Check it out. Those guys do prank calls. They're a lot of fun. And that's all I'm going to say about it. DrinkNet 2, VaughnLive.tv, James Dolezal, Tony Baby Oil. We're friends with these guys, and we have nothing more to say that's good, because the rest, I have nothing else good to say about them, actually. So right now, what's more important is we're going to try and break in with a guy here in just a second.
now, from the Deep South, a dose of Southern comfort. He's not a doctor, but he does a lot of drugs. It's BUBBAGANOOSH, right here on the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast on RenegadeTalkRadio.com.
All right. Well, hey, Paulie, this is exciting. We're going to try and go into the deep, dirty South with this this ghetto hookup this guy's got and see if he's out there. BUBBAGANOOSH, are you with us? Hello, Bubba.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm always good.
You're always good.
Yeah, drugs.
And when you're bad, you're better.
Drugs.
Drugs. It's drugs. That's right.
Drugs.
Just like they said, man, you're not a doctor, but you do a lot of drugs.
Too many.
Too many. Too many.
Fuck.
Well, you know, what do you like? You're in your 30s, right?
Yeah, man.
But with all the drugs you do, even though you're in your 30s, what would you say your actual body age is and the condition that it's in?
175.
Okay, well, quit lying, you know, because we both know it's 180.
Yeah, something like. I've been working out though.
You've been working out, right? Well, good. Well, it's good. Welcome to the Foxxcast. So tonight you're tapping into are you stealing from a Wi-Fi in your neighborhood? Are you down the road, or you're in the deep, dirty South? You want to say what state you're in, or does it matter?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville, and I got ObamaNet, and it only works when y'all do, because y'all got to pay for it.
Well, so the bottom line is that you're not getting much of a fucking signal lately. Yeah, there you go, folks. ObamaNet. You heard it first right here from BUBBAGANOOSH. So Bubba, again, you know, I'll tell you why we got you here, man. You know, you're going to represent the Deep South. And tell everybody your attitude about people when they retire about the South. What was that saying that you put on Facebook that I got a kick out of?
That no one retires and moves up north.
Nobody retires and moves up north. So he's down there in the dirty South. And of course, you know, when you think about people in the South, Paulie, what type of, let's stereotypify someone from the South. When you think of someone from, say, the Bible Belt, Paulie, what paint a picture of what you think that person would be like.
Oh, geez, you know, God-fearing, possibly cross-eyed, and, you know, has parents that are related, and
in the Bible,
maybe a little bit of a banjo going in the background. But the truth is, none of that stuff defines Bubba, man. He is one of a kind down there. In my opinion.
We're going to find out.
So excited to have him with us.
We're going to find out. I don't know if he's religious. I don't know if he's a churchgoer. Bubba, what is your opinion of life as you see it?
Fuck it. That is my opinion. All encompassing. Fuck it.
Because.
Why not?
And get a little closer to your mic just a little bit. And so how do you live your life? You know, Bubba, I'm going to share some things with this audience. And, you know, we promised, there he goes. We promised that, you know, one of the best things to do is if you put all your laundry out, nobody can come back and say shit about you. And that's what we've always tried to do. Exactly. And you know, here you're a guy, you're an ex-felon. You said it yourself, and that's okay. This is Renegade Talk Radio, but you got a lot to say. You're not a stupid guy. You're quick. You're quick as shit. You know, I consider myself quick, but this guy's so quick by the time the girl comes, he's at Denny's eating a fucking Grand Slam. But let's talk about this for a minute. So you're a felon. So can I just ask you some straight up questions? Let the listeners get to know you a little bit straight up. I mean, we're not here to make fun of you. I mean, you're part of the team, man. So you're a felon. So what was the charge?
Aggravated armed robbery, aggravated kidnapping.
Aggravated armed robbery, aggravated kidnapping.
Yeah.
So that just means he wasn't happy at the time when he was doing it, right? Is that what aggravated means?
Yeah.
Well, no, he was aggravated when he robbed the fucker, and he's aggravated when he kidnapped the fucker too. That's the bottom line.
Aggravated means that I hurt him.
And here's a guy, 6 foot. How tall are you? 6'2"? How tall are you?
3.
6'3". How much you weigh?
130.
130 pounds, 6'3". When this guy fucking hits you, you know it. But I got a feeling that he doesn't just use his fist. So aggravated armed robbery. So can you tell us like how old were you and what precipitated this whole thing? What made you decide to go do this?
I was 18 and I was known for being able to be hired out to go do robberies. And I got hired out to do one and it went bad and I got caught. And I stopped doing them after that.
So, unfortunately, you were a guy that found a way to make some money, and you said, fuck it, this ain't so bad. And the guys that you were doing it for probably made out better than you did after they paid you. But they said, hey, you know what, if we can't do it, I know a guy that will. And they called Bubba.
He's like a Southern Rocky.
Hold on. Say it again.
I usually did it for myself. It was usually, whatever you can get out of there, you can keep. All I want is this, and that was pretty much it.
Oh, so it was just an independent thing.
People too scared to do their own dirty work. Simple as that. They want something done, but they didn't have the balls to do it.
Mm-hmm. So if you will, recreate the night that you fucked up.
It was actually noon on like a Friday.
Middle of broad daylight, okay.
Broad daylight, witnesses everywhere. Guy came to me because a friend of mine's mom told him about me, that, hey, I know if you got something that you need done, this guy will do it, blah, blah, blah. So they show up at my apartment, and I got a typical guy that I do this shit with, but he's busy doing something else, so I grabbed the first available guy to me, which happened to be a Yankee, some guy from Chicago. And I said, hey, man, this is what's up. Are you down to do something like this? He's like, hell yeah, I've done it before. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it, then let's go.
All right.
So we get in the car, dude explains to us what's going on, and the weapons are in the back, and this guy owes him money, and there's something in the bedroom he wants out of the bedroom. Other than that, we can keep everything. He's got a recording studio, all kinds of shit in there. It's Nashville. Everybody's got a recording studio.
Nashville,
anyway,
okay,
so
right, okay.
We roll up, dude gets out of the car, walks in, and talks to him for a minute, comes back out, sits down, and says, all right, y'all go do what you got to do. So we went in, told the guy that we were there to buy some studio equipment for him to show it off. Let's see what you got. He turns around to grab something, and when he does, the guy that I'm with elbows him in the back of his neck, right on top of his spine. He shot straight up and went down, out. I thought, shit, that's easy. Let's go to work. I went to step over the guy. He grabbed me from the ground. He's a big, big dude, like tall as shit, and like some kind of California surfer type, long blonde hair, tie-dye, that kind of guy.
Wow, okay.
So he reaches up and grabs my shirt as I go to step over him, so I stomp him in the face until I feel his nose go soft through the damn shoe, my foot. I only had regular shoes on, so I could feel his nose go soft through my toes. Anyway, so I kick the shit out of him over and over, and then he finally lets me go. He lets go and jumps up to take off outside, and we grab him by his shirt to snatch him back in the house. He tears out of his shirt and runs outside. Well, we followed him out there, and I went and got the weapons out of the trunk and handed one to the guy I was with and kept one myself. Dude threw his hands up and said, y'all fucked up, you robbed the wrong motherfucker, and went to fighting. He got both of his arms broke, his head collapsed in, his nose, and then we drove away. 2 days later...
Well, wait, what was the aggravated kidnapping? Was that something separate?
His girlfriend claimed that we held her down and wouldn't let her use the phone. She sat and watched it like she was paying to be there. Like she was, entertained by it. She didn't say a word. She sat there and watched it. When we started going outside, whooping his ass, she came out on the front porch, sat there and watched. I told my lawyer, look at the size of that bitch compared to me. She was fucking huge. I said, dude, there's no way I held that fat bitch from doing anything. So they dropped that charge. Aggravated kidnapping charge stuck. Aggravated armed robbery charge stuck. They offered me 15 years at 85% to cop out. I told them to fuck off and went to the jury with it.
And you go to the jury after 85% of 15 years, and what did you end up with?
I got 3 years of probation and 9 years suspended.
You didn't do any time?
Not even 5 fucking minutes. And the two guys that turned state's evidence on me did 1.5 years apiece. That was their deal. Snitch me out, turn state's evidence, they only got 1.5 years. I didn't get a fucking hour and a half.
Wow.
And I didn't say shit about it. I didn't snitch. I told them I wasn't there. And then when I finally did admit that I was there, I said I was only there because they were fighting and I wanted to see what was going on. And I stuck with that the whole time.
So that was over 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was 18.
So have you done anything silly since then to now?
Not that anybody knows of, no.
Right. In other words, you did not have sex with that woman.
Exactly. No, hell no, man. I don't do shit like that. It didn't take long for me to figure out that wasn't the life for me.
Now, you also, we were talking the other day. And you said, you obviously you're chilling out in your older age. Not that you're old, but you said that one of the things that you would never do is go to jail. You said you basically, the thought of being confined drives you crazy. And you told me something today when we were talking before, talking about how we were going to get on tonight if we could get you connected with who's ever Wi-Fi you're ripping off tonight. But you said, you're afraid to go up elevators. You're afraid to go upstairs. Share some of that. You got this vertigo. Do you know why that was, or you've been like that all your life?
It's a control thing, man. If I'm in control, I can go as high. I could climb the outside of the building, but the inside makes me nervous because I didn't build them stairs and I didn't build that elevator. I just don't. It's trust thing, man. I don't trust nothing.
So you said you're good for about four floors in an elevator, and that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
So you'll never go to the top of the Eiffel Tower or go down to Vegas or go up that tower or nothing like that?
And I don't know. If I was there and, the right people were there and you kept fucking with me about it, yeah, I probably would.
Okay, but it's just the thought of it, though. And how about getting locked up or getting cuffed and getting thrown in the back of a van or a car and then being incarcerated? How does that make you feel, just thinking about that?
Man, that's fucking horrible. It's enough to keep me from doing stupid shit that I know I could do. I don't have to, things could be a lot easier for me if I was willing to do certain things that I just ain't willing to do because of that.
So usually if you get claustrophobic or if you get anxiety or a vertigo about something, there's usually a reason. Now, when you had that aggravated assault, were you arrested and incarcerated for a while and then they let you go and you had to go to court, or what happened? Were you locked up for any period of time?
Well, I was on the run for about 3 weeks. And being on the run is a funny thing.
Oh, yeah, awesome. That's a nice addition. I'm glad I asked. Go ahead. So you're on the run for 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. All right, being on the run where I'm from is awesome, but it's also horrible. Because it's awesome because everybody that fucking knows you is giving you free shit, trying to take care of you, because they all want to be the guy that did. They want to brag about it, because everybody knew I was wanted. Detectives were fucking everywhere. It's a serious offense. It's a violent charge. Detectives are everywhere. So I got all these safe houses. Everybody's willing to pick me up. Everybody's giving me free drugs. Bitches all want to be the last girl to fuck me before I get locked up. So it was actually cool. But then at night when I was alone, I was absolutely goddamn terrified. Every sound I fucking heard, every fucking noise was them coming to get me. And I knew they were coming. And they were, so, you know, when they finally did catch me, it was actually relief. And that happened because we were out fucking around one night, me and two other guys, and the guy that I was with saw somebody he didn't like, gave him the finger out the window. That guy ran and said we pulled a gun on him, so they fucking swarmed us thinking that we were teenagers with guns. They ran my name, and there you go.
So they didn't even know they had you. They said, oh, look, this guy's wanted.
Yep, it was a complete accident. They got me in there. They ran my name and realized that, you know, some serious shit, and that was it. I figured, fuck it, I'm never getting out of here again. I went to jail. I was there for they gave me a $35,000 bond.
So
I'm from Trailer Park.
The bottom line is they hit the lottery with you that night. They were feeling good.
Yeah, he got lucky as shit. Yeah.
All right. So there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about. I got two more things I want to talk to you about tonight. That is one about your father and the relationship you had with him and what happened to you at a given time regarding him wanting to have you assist him in a robbery. And lastly, you know, in the news, Paulie, you probably saw Oprah Winfrey's in the news. Of course, the story about her father who allegedly abused her when she was young. Her stepmother and her father, they were breaking up. And, you know, the father evidently was caught with a prostitute. They called her One Tooth. And they had a $200,000 or $300,000 house in Tennessee, by the way, which is where Oprah's from. Her dad had a place called Winfrey's Barbershop, which has been around forever. And evidently Oprah Winfrey was quite the asshole before she made it big. And, you know, so the bottom line is they're breaking up. The stepmother, who's 66 years old, they wanted to renovate Winfrey's Barbershop. You know, the guy's been doing it forever. And they didn't have the money. And you would think that Oprah would throw a few bucks out to help her father, right? Well, I think she only helped him once in her life, and that was it, because of the abusive things that happened when they were younger, when she was younger. However, what happened was the wife and them, they mortgaged their house to get the money together to renovate this barbershop. And so then they get in a jam with the mortgage, and guess what? Fucking Oprah swoops in and buys the house and gets her dad out of trouble with the house. But what does she do after that? She turns to her stepmother and says, "You're out, bitch. Get out."
You know, in addition to that, and this is just a minor detail, as a result of throwing the stepmother out, the stepmother has come out and has outed Oprah and says that she's gay. She says Oprah's into women. Did you hear that?
Oh, there's all kind of stuff that's coming out. But she puts a woman out 66 years old. You're out. So that's what makes the news. But you know what? This is Renegade Talk Radio. I got BUBBAGANOOSH on the team here. He's with us, Paulie. And gee, by such a stroke of luck, I kind of feel like the cop when I pulled a fucking kid over in a car for thinking he's got a gun and finding out it's BUBBAGANOOSH and he's fucking wanted. Hey, now I got BUBBAGANOOSH here, and while everybody's reading mainstream media about Oprah Winfrey, I got a fucking guy that is from Tennessee that knows a little bit and can tell you shit about Oprah as well. So, Bubba, you know, tell us a little bit about what you know about the barbershop in Tennessee and the houses. I mean, you were telling me some stuff and tripping me out because this is like hometown news for him. So go ahead, Bubba. Take the mic.
All right, I don't know if everybody knows that she is from East Nashville, and she grew up in actually a really, really ghetto, predominantly black part of Nashville, especially back then. But as far as her dad, now I don't know, because it's just rumors that he molested her. And as far as I'm concerned, he's lucky she did anything for him at all. But yes, he had a little shitty-ass barbershop. I mean, this was nothing like what you saw with Ice Cube in the movie. This was a garbage-ass, little falling-apart dump. But it's been there forever. And, everybody knows the damn story because, it's a famous thing. And as far as the stepdad and the stepmom, I've heard that she's always treated them badly. But she's always kind of took care of them, that she's never actually completely forgot about them. So, I mean, if it's true and he really did do that to her, then she's done way more than I would have done.
So what kind of a house did he live in down there in Nashville?
It's decent, but he lives in an area where everybody has really nice houses. So it's not even, as nice as it could be for the areas that he's in.
So did the stepmother work? I didn't check into that. And/or did Oprah help them get that house?
Yeah, I heard that Oprah bought them the house when they got married. That she showed up to his wedding, that she bought them that house, and that was it. That's all she was willing to do for him. And like I said, all this is just rumor that passes around from person to person down here. And I heard that she did show up at his wedding, and she bought him that house, and that was basically, this is all I'm doing for you. After that, fuck you.
Wow. Well, back in the day when I had a DJ company in Baltimore, Oprah, she started her career, or actually, besides being in other cities, she worked for a station in Baltimore, and you can Google it, folks, called WJZ-TV. In Baltimore, Maryland. She did a show called People Are Talking with a guy named Richard Scher, who was still at the station, who was still doing the same stuff he did back in the 80s or 90s or however long ago it was. But the cool thing was, I DJ'd in clubs and had a big entertainment company back then. I had about 11 nightclubs, 40 catering halls. We used to rock all up and down the East Coast. People like Russell Simmons, Rick Rubin, they would come and hang in the DJ booth with me. I had people like Snap and CeCe Peniston, some of the Latin freestyle people, Stevie B, Johnny O, all these people from the Micmac label back in the day for Latin freestyle. And Oprah, after Friday Night News, would come to a nightclub that I played in called Buddy's Nightclub in Baltimore. She'd come up in a booth and hang with me late night for a couple hours. It was kind of cool, and who knew that I was sitting there with a future billionaire to be, and she's hanging out in the DJ booth with me. Who knew? So, and I just, I wonder if she'd even remember me. I would think that she would. I would think that she'd remember Rappin' Ray back in the day when she worked in Baltimore. I really think that she would remember because that's where she started, pretty much. And then she just went on and on and on. But look it up, folks. WJZ-TV, Baltimore, Maryland, Oprah Winfrey. People Are Talking was the name of the show. And her co-host was Richard Scher, who's still there, probably ready to retire soon. So anyway, it's interesting. It's interesting, because a lot of times, they try so hard when they got all this money, and then you hear about her network losing millions of dollars and trying to keep it aboard, and then they're wanting Rosie O'Donnell in there, and that don't flush. I mean, there's all kind of things with her, but now the mother is pissed, and you know what? This is karma, Bubba. This is karma, Paulie. What do you think's going to happen to the mother now when she starts exposing Oprah and all these tabloids, and everybody's going to want the scoop? She's going to get paid.
Well, she's going to get paid. She's going to get more attention than she deserves, obviously. I mean, when you boil it down, all she ever really did was have sex with Oprah's daddy, and that ain't really a claim to fame. But, it's going to give her the spotlight that she wants, and it's going to give her some attention. I don't expect that she's going to be able to successfully blackmail Oprah, and that wasn't necessarily an intended pun. But yeah, I mean, she's going to get basically the Octomom level of fame for, 15, 20 minutes, and then she'll fade away. No one's going to hurt Oprah. She's one of the most successful media personalities in the history of media personalities.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, somewhere along the line, though, the woman is going to have to be treated fairly somewhere along the line. I think when it's all said and done, she'll be taken care of in some way, and she'll be okay when this is all over.
Oh, I'm certain. And I mean, does Oprah still have her channel on Sirius? I haven't been able to listen.
Well, it's a cable TV, the own network, But
yeah,
anyway,
she has a channel, TV channel.
Yeah,
it's fine. Oprah, you can't hurt Oprah, and she's got enough money to shut her up, and everybody's gonna know this is some woman being spiteful because she has no other option. This has happened a million times with managers coming out with I got the truth about so and so, and no one gets a shit.
No, at the end of the day, they don't, because they're thinking that bitch has got more money anyway. Who cares? But anyway, well, listen, BUBBAGANOOSH, I want to thank you for sharing some of the intimacies with us. And here's what we're going to do, Next week, we're going to talk about the deal with your dad, because we only do an hour podcast. And when we come back after the break, we're going to talk about chemtrails. And I'm pretty passionate about it. I'm sick of looking up in the sky and looking at the shit that they're dropping. And for you people that are saying, it's just contrails, it's just water vapor when water mixes with the CO2 and the water and the humidity. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit when we come back. But Bubba, welcome to Renegade Talk Radio, bro.
All right, good to be here, man.
All right, man. So that's Bubba. And Bubba, I'm going to ask you to unplug your Wi-Fi and kick back with us and hang tight for a little bit. We're going to bring you into our chemtrail conversation just a little bit as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, Renegade Talk Radio. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be more. It's going to be the chemtrails. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Tonight on HBO Obama, the cable channel dedicated to Barack Obama's inauguration. It's the season premiere of Big Barack Love. The story of a polygamist affair between one president and hundreds of lovesick White House reporters. Then, it's an all-new episode of Curb Your Audacity, where a balding old white guy keeps putting his foot in his mouth, starring Joe Biden. Finally, it's Inauguration Entourage. Oprah Winfrey, P. Diddy, and George Clooney lead a cast of thousands. It's not DC, it's HBO. Bummer.
Ayer que me llevaste a la tienda, me diste una lección. Cuando a la señora se le cayó el billete, tú lo recogiste y se lo entregaste. Entendí lo que es ser honrado. Gracias, papá, por enseñarme algo que no...
The party's hit the...
In these tough economic times, brother, even the world's greatest athletic entertainers can get pinned down by an unemployment pile driver.
One day, you're the world's television champion, adored by millions. And the next day, you're standing in line, wrestling with mind-boggling forms.
That's right, brother. That's why we started the Save the Wrestler Foundation.
Oh, yeah! For about the cost of a new leopard print leotard, you can make sure your very own superstar of wrestling won't go hungry.
Yeah, brother. Once you become a sponsor, you'll get a letter and an autographed picture of your wrestler thanking you from the top rope, dude.
Won't you please help? And together, we can tag team wrestler unemployment with a donation suplex. Oh, yeah!
Get ready to achieve multiple eargasms with the biggest stroke job in cyberspace. If the microphone was a clit, none of you bitches would complain about a long, drawn-out speech. Raunch Foxx and the cyber sickness, getting people off on their own computers.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Some radio stations are special. All you need to hear is the station name, and you know it's different from the rest. The music, the contests, the talent. And now, we return to the Raunch Foxx Cyber Sickness. It's no holds barred. We've been fucking the FCC since the FCC started fucking.
All right, everybody. Welcome back, Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, where it's never a dull moment. And again, our newest addition from the deep, dirty South, BUBBAGANOOSH, is going to be he's going to be sharing stuff with us insight-wise. We're going to be talking about chemtrails here in a minute, Paulie. You know how I feel about that, and a lot of other people are starting to step up as well. And Paulie, you know, we've got a couple threads going on Facebook right now. And of course, every once in a while you get the debunker or you get the guy that says, oh, you're full of shit. There's no such thing. You have no proof. No this, no that. We're here to talk about chemtrails, folks. And what we want you to do is just start looking up. Look up in the sky, so when you see the checkerboards and everything being made up there, and some idiot says, oh, that's just exhaust, or oh, that's just an air traffic pattern in the sky, that's just water vapor and the CO2 and the heat, and of course, you know, it's probably humidity and this and that. The guy says, oh, you're probably in a very hot, humid area. I said, actually, I'm in Arizona. It's 85 today, and there's not an ounce of humidity. I've been watching this stuff every single day. And Paulie, you know, I mean, you've seen the pictures on Facebook. And, you know, we saw the video. We can't really show it here, but we can talk about it for a minute. Explain to some people the video that you showed, you had me look at before the show.
Well, what that video was a recording done from the cockpit of what I'm going to have to assume was an escort plane, because these guys were close enough to the actual culprit itself that was doing the spraying. They said they were going to post it to YouTube, and to me, they sounded like they were military to an extent. But what you saw was what looked like a commercial jetliner, minus the windows and minus the markings, basically doing what they call on and off spraying. And this was so obvious that I can't believe this video isn't more popular. You literally see the streams of this stuff pouring out of the back of the jetliner where there are no engines, where it can't be attributed to condensation. Now, Raunch, just a quick quiz time, because I know you know the difference between what a contrail and a chemtrail is, but maybe for the audience you can quickly just kind of describe what the visible difference is between a contrail and a chemtrail.
Well, personally, I think that, contrail, short for condensation, water vapor, which obviously will dissipate or disappear in a rather quick period of time. If there's heat or humidity in the air, it'll stick around for a while. Sure it will. But not for 3 or 4 hours and spread across the sky almost to form a layer over the sun. I have various videos that I've done myself. I told you that Jen got me the military-grade binoculars, and I've been watching these planes when they come out. I'm right up in their shit. They're white, unmarked planes. And I seen one 2 days ago that almost looked like a fucking rocket. It didn't even look like a plane. It was like a rocket. It was moving pretty quickly. It was a long cylindrical moving across the sky. And the weirdest thing happened. The damn thing just kind of disappeared when it got into the distance. And I looked through my binoculars like, where the hell did it go? And I moved my binoculars and looked up with my eyes. Didn't see a thing. It kind of like vanished. Freaked me out. Totally freaked me out. But anyway, getting back to it, folks, when you're looking up in the sky and this stuff is, this geoengineering has been going on for a long time. We're talking about chemicals. We're talking about nanoparticulates, metal particles. They say that they're doing it for global warming. But there's also something called global dimming that's going on right now. And they say that the 20% of the sun's rays are now not getting through to the earth. And, when you think about that, think about photosynthesis, Paulie. Think about agriculture. Think about things that grow. Think about the fucking market. Think about the money that these companies, this Monsanto's and all these other people, think about how they can drive prices up if they start fucking with crops, they start fucking with agriculture. I mean, it's not just about people dropping, they say, aluminum or strontium or barium or even fluoride for that matter. And then, parents are not even taking their kids for the fluoride treatments at the dentist anymore. I could go in 20 directions. All I know is these metal particles are up in the air, and you see a lady on the news 2 days ago that calls 911 because she sees a gold ring around the sun. You can see the metal in the air being reflected. You can see it. And remember, this stuff, Paulie, and I'll let you jump in a second because I'm crazy here. Remember, this is the stuff that stays in the air, but eventually when it's in the air, where does it end up, Paulie?
It ends up where we breathe, where we walk, where we drink. Basically, it ends up in our environment in its totality. And you know what? It's funny that you mention rockets, and it's funny that you mention aluminum and metals, because the origin of these chemtrails goes back to World War II, when the Germans were beginning to run low on jet fuel and airplane fuel and rocket fuel. And what they were doing was mixing aluminum and a few various other metals in with the fuel to get a little bit more mileage out of the fuel itself. And they started noticing, of course, that these long-lasting trails were following behind anywhere that, something had flown. And so we, the Allies, adopted a similar technique to use it to mark where the enemy was and where certain attacks were to take place. And if you were to go back and look at some of these old footages of the old dogfights and the Battle of the Bulge especially was where this was used, you would see that the sky is just littered with these chemtrails. So it was something that we kind of stumbled upon by accident. And it's also something that, has been discovered to have a purpose. And like you mentioned, they're throwing these metals up there, this global dimming. Obviously, they have an agenda behind it, and obviously they have a reason for doing this. Now, whether or not we know what that reason is, it'll be open to debate for quite some time. But you know how you also mentioned that there are people out there who say, oh, it's just this, it's just that. You have your deniers, or you have the people who just aren't necessarily awake. This is the reason we get a guy like President Obama elected twice, because what I consider to be the global dimming that's going on is the global dimming of the population. A bunch of dim bulbs. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, they're dumbing us down. It's a fact. We do know that fluoride will affect your pineal gland. And, we can all just be good little puppies. We grow up, we get married, we have jobs, we live our lives, and we die. Or, you can become awakened. And that's what's happening nowadays. People spiritually are becoming more awakened. They're looking up in the sky. They're starting to question things. They're starting to say, how long have we been duped? How long has the government been lying to us? I've got these other conspiracy guys. We're going to bring them all in on this show. We're going to stretch this chemtrail thing out for a couple months. I've got guys going up saying, well, you know what, these extraterrestrials have been running the human race for years. It's all about population control. And they talked about population control all the way back to Area 51. That's another show. But I have talked to some very, very interesting people. All I know is if it's affecting agriculture, and then I had a guy today on Facebook say to me, oh, well, guys don't have any concrete proof. Ignore all the YouTube videos. It's all lies. It's all propaganda. Really? Really? There's a Clinton whistleblower list out right now. Look it up, folks. All the people that came forth to talk about, to expose different things that the government may have been behind. There's a list of people that have been murdered, people that have been poisoned, people that have just disappeared. You have to wake up, people. You got to start paying attention, and you got to look up. Look up, and because if you don't, you're just breathing it. And, if this is something that's going to get into your system, into your intestinal tract, or let's take Monsanto when they spray the fields, and they say, well, this is to spray on the corn. So what happens is it attacks the insects, and it gets into their intestines and explodes their intestines and blows them up and kills them. Oh, really? Okay, well, great. So you've got something that only works on bugs, and it won't do that to the same people that eat the corn, as an example. And another thing, then you've got the organic farmers, Paulie, right?
Yep.
Organic farmers.
Fewer and fewer of them anyway.
And you know why? Because the feds are going in to these organic farms and they're testing, and they can test soil samples, or they can test the actual plants themselves and or their crops. And if they find something of a contaminatory nature that's not organic, what do the feds do?
They shut them right down. They shut them down, and they say, nope, you can't do this anymore. You have to have a certain brand or a certain strain of this plant that is resistant to these metals or these toxins that are in the environment. And if you don't have them, you're not going to be selling your food. You're not going to be growing anything on your land. And we'll just take over when you run out of money.
Shut them down. That's right. And Monsanto, let's say, for example, they've got money. Say they're with the government. So what happens? Maybe these chemtrails, maybe they're dropping shit in the air, and they know darn well that this can affect every organic farm in the country, as an example, and Monsanto can control. Because what happens is there have been instances where an organic farm has been, operating, and a Monsanto or someone opens up another farm not too far from there, and all it takes is a couple seeds to get up in the air and blow over to the organic farms, and they're fucked, and the feds come in and shut them down. So, what are we saying, folks? Chemtrails, what does it do? Oh, well, there's no proof. Really? Really? What about all the respiratory illnesses in these areas? What about people that are watching the weather? Have you ever had a weatherman in your town say, "Oh, we've got an anomaly here. There's some type of a cluster. We're not sure if it's a storm or whatever, but it's formed rather quickly." And 90% of the time, it's usually near one of these Air Force bases. I mean, we're down here by Luke Air Force Base. I had 10 people tell me on Facebook, "Oh yeah, we see that all the time on the news, all the time." Okay, well, are people controlling the weather? Is it screwing up our respiratory system? Is it, are people getting restless sleep? Is this stuff affecting people different ways? Are they actually considering population control and saying, let's just go ahead and throw some shit in the air that's not going to show up in these people for another 10 or 15 years anyway? Dude, where's Bubba Ganoosh? Is he still here? Bubba, can you still hear us on your shitty Wi-Fi out there? Come in if you could hear us.
My Obama net's working strong, man.
What's happened? Do you see any? I know you freaked out when I put the pictures of the drones on my Facebook page, but do you see any chemtrails down in Tennessee?
Honestly, man, I'm not out a lot in the daytime to pay attention. I'm starting to because of what I've seen on the internet lately.
Yeah, because of people like us and people saying awaken and start looking up and question everything. And there's people that don't. And how can a person that says, "Oh, it's just water vapor," and you look up in the sky and it looks like a fucking it looks like a tic-tac-toe board or something like that. Oh yeah, it's just random flying back and forth. Let's play tic-tac-toe in the skies.
Well, during the Dust Bowl or whatever, I think it was whenever it was, the 40s or whatever, they did cloud seeding where they made it rain.
Yep.
Recently, they figured out how to do the same thing to make it snow by putting aluminum oxide into clouds and shit. I mean, they can.
That's
everybody's
correct.
Talking about how the weather patterns have changed so dramatically lately, and they really have. I'm not all that old, but I'm old enough to remember what it was like, in the 80s and 90s and now, and the weather is a lot more powerful than it's ever been.
And sure, you guys down in the South had probably one of the most snowy winters in recorded history, and then there were the videos that were How about all the videos that were showing up of people trying to melt this snow and saying that it was burning like styrofoam and that they couldn't actually get any kind of moisture from it when they were melting it?
Exactly.
I mean, you want to talk about affecting the weather? I mean, have people already forgotten this? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, here's the bottom line. You talk about that stuff, and like he says, going all the way back, Europe's been doing it for years, and they're also testing the soil, they're testing the water, ridiculous amounts of metals in this stuff. And folks, this is something that we're going to be talking about for the next couple weeks, and we're going to be getting into detail. We're going to have people calling in from all around the country. And then we're going to tell you that you need to contact your local congressman, wherever the hell you live, and start demanding disclosure. We want to know what is being dropped on us, and we want to know now. Because, you know what? If you don't tell us, maybe we're not going to fucking vote for you next time. But, you know, the sad thing is we're sheep, and nobody's going to stand up, and nobody's going to do it and be tough enough to, you know, come together as a group. And that's the screwed up thing about it. They're not going to come together, because if we started threatening these politicians with their job and say, you know what, you're not going to be reelected. You know, we want some answers, and you know the pressure has got to start somewhere. Because until,
and you want pictures too, right? You want people to start sending in pictures from wherever it is that they may be, pictures of these contrails. Mm-hmm. Tell them where to send them, Raunch.
Send them right to Raunch Foxx at Gmail with 3 X's. Raunch Foxx, 3 X's at gmail.com. You know, I had an application on my Android, and look it up. It's called the Chemtrail Project. And what they do is they tell you, they say, go ahead and snap pictures. It'll set you up like a Snapchat or something quick. It automatically opens up on your computer. Well, suddenly, a couple months ago, you go through it, you take the picture, and it's supposed to automatically upload to a website. Well, guess what? It doesn't work anymore. You have no place to send your pictures. So it's called the Chemtrail Project. You guys and girls, I encourage you to look it up and see if it works on your Android. I don't think it's just mine, because I've had other people say it doesn't work. So we're whetting your appetites right now. Chemtrails, we're going to talk more about it next week. I cannot believe it's been an hour already, BUBBAGANOOSH and Paulie, but that's what we do. We do the best we can for an hour. And next week, we're going to talk about some of the things that happened in Paulie's dysfunctional childhood, some relationships he had with his dad, getting involved in potential robberies or not getting involved. And then we're going to talk to some other people about chemtrails. I'm going to try and see if we can bring in some people that know a little bit more about it, like our geoscientists and so on, that can talk about geoengineering. And that's what we're going to be bringing next week. So, Paulie, unbelievable. 60 minutes, zap. 60 minutes, zap.
They just keep getting faster and faster. You know what? I want to welcome BUBBAGANOOSH to the team here on the Foxxcast, and I want to welcome him to Renegade Talk Radio, man. Give us a quick rebel yell. Give us a rebel yell, man. You're one of the team now, man.
My rebel yell is hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, well, listen, BUBBAGANOOSH, thank you so much. We're going to work on getting him that signal. We got our buddy Gino with his computer repair. I'm going to be hooking up Paulie as well. So, Paulie, thank you, my friend, for sharing episode number 10.
Hey, thank you for having me for episode number 10, Raunch. Let's just keep it going, man. Onward and upwards.
BUBBAGANOOSH, the same with you. Welcome aboard, my friend.
Appreciate it, man. Had a good time.
All right, so with that, everybody, we'll see you next week. Check us out, Stitcher, iTunes, Spreaker, Podomatic, RenegadeTalkRadio.com, and more. It's a Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast right here. RenegadeTalkRadio.com. See you next time.